We got game number 1 here on Apocalypse. My favorite stage. I'm sure they did it for me because everyone knows this is my favorite stage. But
that's right.
I'm excited to see how this one plays out.
Everybody is thinking about you all the time, PJ. They did it for
It's
you.
all about me here.
It's all about us. That's what the casters are here to do. That's why they call us talent. Everybody, game number 1 of Grand Finals. Keith already going to be looking for that end sig. Unsuccessfully, though. Himwy backing off to the ground at the moment, looking for this next opening.
The Gauntlet Mirror, I feel like we're in North America right now. Apocalypse, Gauntlet Mirror, I mean, this is just a classic in many regions of Brawlhalla, but Himwy and Keith putting their own spin on it, and Himwy already coming out on top with that big recovery, gets the orb recovery as well to continue the juggle state and the
side
air, and that's the first stock of this Grand Final set number 1. I think we got to reset. This is looking pretty good for Himwy so far.
You said that this put us in North America, right? Having the 2 gauntlets out and being on like Apocalypse. Where in North America specifically do you feel like, you know, as a region, where do you think, which part of the country in the United States does this put us in?
What region in the United States does this put us in?
Having double
what
gauntlets.
am I supposed to say? A double gauntlet? I don't know. What region?
A vibe.
Definitely not the West Coast.
Definitely not the West Coast. I see.
Definitely not the West Coast. I feel like the West Coast players play some pretty wacky legends, but nonetheless, feels like NA to me.
Feels like NA in general, that's right. Himwy at the moment gonna be looking for that side light recovery, doesn't find it successfully. Stock count is a little bit even. I apologize for missing the last few stocks. Side light neutral, really good damage. And now how does Keith find this KO? You want to jump call out with a recovery. You want to be able to find maybe like a D-Sig off stage. Looking for the D-Light, not gonna be able to catch the dodge though.
Nice little side air there, jump side air to avoid the side sig. You're talking about that side sig being very satisfying to hit. You don't see it hit a lot on Petra, but when it does, it's always cool to see that side light side air. We'll close out that stock.
Keith picking up the gauntlets here, and we're going to be looking for a nice way to land. Side airing just to repositioning, potentially to catch a dash in. Either way, it was a little bit unsuccessful. Yeah, nice jump call out with the side air once again.
Good movement from both players so far. Nice little nair there from Himwy to continue racking on the damage in this lead. Gotta close out the stock here if you are Keith, though, looking to take this first game. Side light, down light recovery there. Definitely not a true string, but no dodge potentially on Himwy's side. Guitars in hand versus the orb. Himwy has closed out both of the previous stocks with the orb, so I feel like this might be a little bit too early for orb to find success.
Yeah, orb is all about denial. It is all about keeping you away, out of sight and out of mind. And so right now, especially with the way that Keith is playing, I feel like I would have seen a dash-in D-Light in Himwy's future. But now we're picking up the gauntlets in hand. Keith continuing just to swat him away over and over. The end light doesn't connect. Nobody's able to find a massive follow-up.
Good movement right now. The way that Diamond Hands holds the guitars is kind of funny to me, but nonetheless, the side air comes in and closes out the stock potential. No, not quite enough, but the side stick definitely will, and Keith seizes the game from a 2 stock to 1 deficit. Very clean stuff on the guitars, playing very patient. We didn't see some crazy like some crazy strings or anything, just a lot of, you know, hits that then led into that side stick. Very clean stuff from
Yep, that's Caspian, right? Sometimes Caspian does not struggle to get those KOs, especially at the end of the game when you're off stage and you're trying to come back on. You eat that kind of a side sig, and you know, it can be a little bit tough. It's quick, it sends you at a really difficult angle to come back from. So yeah, really good stuff. We're gonna be seeing Himwy stick to the Petra. How do you feel about Himwy sticking to the Petra?
I don't know. You know, Himwy is like an anomaly of a player. Like, to me, I feel like no matter what I think that Himwy should do, Himwy always does the opposite and also proves me wrong every time. On commentary, I'll be like, yeah, I think Himwy should like play this legend or do this thing, and then Himwy's like, nah, PJ, not at all, and still wins really hard. So I think it's really just who Himwy is feeling, and if Himwy is feeling the Petra right now, who am I to tell him? He's best in Southeast Asia for a reason.
He's best in Southeast Asia, but right now Keith is looking to be able to make this upset today. Himwy is sticking onto the Petra, backing off a little bit, trying to give him a little bit of space. It seems like Himwy is struggling to connect some of these hits in neutral. Finding a side light, finding a down air, finding an end light. Granted, everybody is struggling too, and so this has been kind of a game of with punishing each other.
Okay, some pretty good movement here from Himwy to avoid some of these kind of more aggressive burst options from the guitars. But as I say that, his side stick comes into the corner. I mean, if you're going to play Diamond Hands or Diamond Head, you're going to play it because of this signature. You're going to play it because of that side stick and then the ground pound to close out that stock. And right now, Keith looking very, very good right now.
Himwy opting for the orb. At the moment, the down air somehow doesn't connect. The recovery does, though. Can you get that juggle? You can't actually steal the orb recovery all that far. Not going to be able to successfully call out that jump. Sidelight side air goes all the way off stage, using up a lot of resources. Recovery is somehow not enough to be able to take it off the top.
Just looking for this one hit. You know, orb players want one thing, and it's that side light. And you're definitely seeing Himwy mixing in a lot of jumps and down airs as an attempt to kind of force Keith to stay on the ground and then scooping the grounded approach with a side light. That's not working out so far, though. The Guitars is able to pick apart this game plan and barely avoids the ground pound there. Is able to eat the side air without getting KO'd in the wall. And already the Guitar is getting some big damage. Reversals there, gets hit with the recovery, then hits a recovery of their own. Clean stuff.
That was tough. I've never seen Orb struggle to KO like that much before, especially from Petra. Keith lived a very long time, ate that recovery, kept making it back onto the stage, and now as a result, Keith has a pretty big lead for himself.
Oof, the side light was a big whiff, and Himwy was able to capitalize, but goes a little bit too crazy off stage, gets punished by that ground pound, and now Keith once again with a lead here with a 2-stock to 1 lead. Last game, Keith actually came back from a deficit though, so we'll see if Himwy is able to do the same.
I love these retreating down airs from Himwy. You give up a little bit of stage, but there's honestly no way to punish that, because by the time somebody gets close enough to you, you can always end up dodging away.
Very scary there. The side stick comes in and almost catches Himwy. That could have been a very scary offstage spot, but the downlight conditions the dodge and gets a side air off of it. Can you find the edge guard? Didn't find the down air there. Immediately gets punished by the Guitars back on the stage, but looking real scary here to recover. And once again, a ground pound whiffs from Himwy, and this gives one more chance for Keith to make it back and continue this extra credit. Nice weapon toss to break the mold, and back on the gauntlets here, gets the big side air and looks to potentially find another ground pound to close out the third stock here in this game.
Well, that line of sight was just above the stage. That side air was perfect to connect. Okay, the GC side light does not come out. Love that GC pivot end light on Keith's behalf. That was excellent. And that's going to be a 2-stock for that game too, PJ.
One more game is all that separates Keith from taking the trial. Freya Southeast Asia, and the Caspian is looking too clean. What I like to see is Keith is really good at, with the gauntlets in hand and then having the Guitars as the next weapon to pick up, like hitting Himwy off stage and then throwing the gauntlets, picking up the Guitars, and then immediately throwing out a side sig. It just creates so much coverage where, like, oh, now it's my moment to, you know, create some space or like get back to the wall. But when you're just so willing to just grab the Guitars and immediately go for the sig, it covers so much space. And now we have Himwy swapping off to the Ahsoka. We'll see if this one works out with the Guitar mirror now instead of the Gauntlet mirror. But man,
which is a good choice. Right, Gauntlets last game, they dealt a cumulative 86 damage. That's not a lot. Orb dealt 290. And so we'll see how this ends up going. We're getting the double weapon switch off here. Katari seems to be very much so in fashion at the moment. Sword will always bring you that good consistent damage, but is it too late? You're down 2 games, you're in elimination side, you need to win a lot of games. You have to win, like, what, 5 more games?
Yeah, you have to reverse 3-0 here, so you have to win 3 in a row, and then win 3 more in the next set without giving up 3 of your own. So you have to essentially play perfectly if you're Himwy. It's crazy.
I did the math wrong.
What happened?
Oh gosh. Oh no, I was just saying, never mind. At the moment though, Himwy. Oh no, that D-light, that GC D-light's still connected. That was crazy.
That's what Keith has been, like, really just the final nail in the coffin in a lot of these sets is when Keith is able to get a very late connection of that downlight and is always going to confirm into that ground pound. And moments like that really just seize control of the momentum, and this should be Keith's tournament now off of that, I think. A nice little side air there, and it's looking tough for Himwy to get back in this game, I think.
Yeah, Himwy is struggling to get any opening at the moment. Keith's just finding this jump call out, backing off a little bit once again, looking for the side. You get the down in. We got a little bit of a Kataru Blendu situation going on here, but then stalled and stopped, and Keith was able to successfully interrupt in time.
And I like that there from Keith, who waits out the last swing with the Yen Light and punishes accordingly with a down air into recovery for some extra damage. And I mean, this is looking more and more insurmountable for Himwy here as Keith continues to run away with this lead. Nice end light there to catch, attempt to dash back to the center, giving space to Himwy, knowing that you're one hit away from getting KO'd yourself, but you want to get this KO and force this 3-stock to 1 situation here.
Oh my gosh, the constant denial. Keith has been keeping Himwy off stage. Keith has been keeping Himwy stuck without a weapon. The down is so active. God bless multi-hits.
It exactly does what it needs to do. Just be an active hitbox that will cover that dodge and go down to Himwy's potential last stock of the tournament. Not only do you need to reverse 3-0, but you also need to reverse 3 stock here in this game number 3. We'll see if you can do it. If anyone can do it in Southeast Asia, it's going to be Himwy.
Dashing,
looking
jumping.
to get something to go in.
Looking for that opening, gets a side, follows through with the neutral, able to get the end light, sending Himwy behind him, left sweating, looking for a way to be able to land here. Okay, getting a bit of a combo going, but the end light never connected. Oh, PJ, that dash in, dash out side light was crazy.
A way to bait out the timing, on the immediate dodge that we see there and get some extra damage. It's looking better for Himwy, but it might be too little too late as these downlights start to pick apart some of the landing options from Keith. Keith looking to just continue this gauntlet game plan, looking for your onesies, twosies, nothing really crazy here.
Himwy is waking up. Himwy is awake. Himwy is here. Okay, looking for that jump call out. Just in neutral.
Bouncing.
In neutral, PJ.
Absolutely absurd from Himwy to find that connection. And now Keith able to pick up a weapon, dashes through after getting hit with the weapon toss. Very aggressive option. The down air comes in, no recovery afterwards, but an air scoops, and this damage will slowly be enough to find your KOs as Keith here, but Himwy still fighting back with the guitars. Doesn't want it to be over yet.
Oh no. Oh my, this is so much damage. The dodge got caught. All of a sudden the game is completely even. Himwy gonna be looking for that GCD light. It didn't actually end up connecting. Backing off, whiffs the downer. That could have been the whip punish.
Oh.
Keith, how do you make it back on?
You are slowly faltering here on the defensive game. Cannot find their way back to the center comfortably. As I say, that's a guitars in hand though, but the downlight into recovery will get the reverse 3 stock, and the announcer is right. That is unbelievable from Himwy, who takes the stock and gets the reverse 3 stock, and now we could see this reverse 3-0 potential here.
Yeah, that was crazy. I felt like there was a lot of adaptations all at once that kind of came together for Himwy. But it felt like he started to have a lot of presence. He had a lot of presence, and he made Keith scared. Himwy got close to him, and he was able to bait out a lot of defensive options. And he did a really good job of punishing dodges that last stock.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to continue this momentum into this game number 4 as we got Demon Island now. A little bit more stage to work with in small World's End, and also you're able to go underneath the stage, which can help, it gives you one more option off stage in those edge guard situations, which we haven't seen all too much, but something that could definitely come into effect here, especially in the Qatar mirror.
Qatar ditto neutral. Crazy. They just run up to each other and then they walk behind, they look in front, they look behind, and then one of them jumps and goes for the down air. But Keith's advantage here right now looking amazing. I love that recovery backwards because even if it whiffs, it repositions you to get back onto the stage.
Oof, the ground pound there doesn't quite send off stage, but a great option to cover people getting a little too aggressive.
And light comes on out. Himwy coming in there with the neutral. Gonna be looking for that side sig unsuccessfully. I cannot believe that Keith has not been able to punish that. I can't believe it has that little end lag.
And Himwy looking really, really good right now.
Oh yeah. Okay, backing down to the ground a little bit. Looking for the end light, looking for the GCD light. It doesn't actually connect. The recovery does it, and it takes it off the top. Gets that side in, Gets that down as well. Keith gonna be looking for that D-Light. Okay. How do we land? Keith comes back on with the side of Himwy. I have to say, as the match has gone on, Himwy's advantage take with the Katalis has gotten crazier and crazier. Endlight into the recovery. Gonna be knocking away Himwy, and they keep on exchanging hit after hit. D-Light Sido. Okay, dash jumping. Gonna be looking for the gauntlets here. Is able to successfully pick them up. At this point, your gauntlets, you want a sidelight, you want a recovery, you want to be able to catch somebody's dash out. The way that Himwy keeps on jumping on in, honestly, I feel like I'm seeing a dash jump recovery just as is. Sido this time around. Could be putting him off stage. Picking up the guitars. Now you want to also find a recovery. You want to find a Sido. But that's going to be it. Himwy coming up with another stock lead. Able to go ahead and make the stock count even. What's it going to be? Is it going to be Kataris? Is it going to be gauntlets? Kataris can even up this damage. You want to find a downer. You want to find a sidelight. But right now, Himwy is playing away and then getting an inching closer and closer. Sidelight and light. No clutch on the dodge quite yet. Keith backs down and resets. If you're Himwy, oh my gosh, that side of lifting is huge. The damage count is completely even at this point. Okay, sidelight just gonna be shoving him off stage here for a second. And we're gonna be looking for that D-Light, gonna be looking for that Endlight. Keith with an Endlight and a recovery of his own. This is so evenly going back and forth.
Victory.
Oh my gosh!
Player one wins.
That's right. That is the magic of Caspian. That is what Caspian is here to do. And that is Caspian's signature.